Keina Kagami, a patient with a chronic disability, passes away on Earth when the power goes out and her life support stops working. She unexpectedly finds herself in Leadale, the virtual reality role-playing game she had been using to communicate with the rest of the world as the High Elf Mage Keina. She is surprised to learn that 200 years have gone by since she last played the game, that the White Kingdom of Feistus and the Green Kingdom of Griskello have combined into one kingdom approximately 60 years ago, and that they have since fallen into poverty. She also learns this information from her AI support unit. Unsure of what to do, she decides to go to the Silver Tower, which she owns as a skill master. She meets the tower's guardian, and it reminds her that she has several children that she adopted through the game's foster system. The guardian also asks her to visit the guardian towers of the 12 skill masters. On the way back to the inn, she rescues a hunter from a beast. That night, they celebrated, and then she collapsed from drinking too much wine. After waking up with a hangover, Keina treats a mercenary who was assaulted and seriously hurt by an ogre when his unit crossed the forest. As a gesture of gratitude for rescuing their comrade's life, the mercenaries and their employer kobold trader Eline take Keina to Failskillo's capital, where her children live and where she expects to discover one of the guardian towers. She signs up as an adventurer and meets her dwarf son Kartats. Kartats panics while Keina is treating him like a small kid. Keina leaves and Kartats alerts his two siblings, Scargo and Mai about Keina. Keina then joins the Adventurers Guild and accepts a quest that calls for a potion, so she gives the guild one of her own to finish it. When Keina steps outside, an armored figure named Agaido and his companion Lonti asks her to assist them in their search for a missing boy. The boy is found by Keina, who then chases him, causing a scene in the city. She manages to catch him and she is rewarded. The following day, as she searches for potential sites for guardian towers, Keina is summoned to the Royal Academy, where she is greeted by her daughter Mai and her son-in-law, Lopus Harvey. They question her about how to make a potion similar to the one she submitted to the guild. She explains that she used long-lost technique. Later, Primo following her, she sets off on a mission to evict a spirit from the capital's Colosseum. Keina is surprised to learn that the Leadale game was put offline following her death on Earth, and learns that the ghost is the keeper of the 9th Skill Master's Guardian Tower, which is hidden away beneath the Colosseum. The Guardian appointed her as its new master. After that, Keina experiences severe depression and mourns in her room. Just then, Scargo barges into her room. Surprised, Keina smacks him straight through the ceiling, and she returns to isolate herself. Mai then arrives and has some of her subordinates remove Scargo from the scene. Keina snaps out of her depression fairly fast, just as Kartats goes looking for her and properly introduces her to Scargo. Later, because the normal route has been plagued by robbers, Elena employs her to serve as a caravan guard while he goes to the neighboring kingdom of Hellsphere. Despite their efforts to find a different route, they encounter a bandit ambush. The bandits are quickly subdued, thanks to Keina's strong magic and some summoned allies, allowing the caravan to resume its journey. Mai asks Keina to carry a letter to Kerik, an employee of the prestigious Sakaiya Merchant Company. She learns that Kerik is her grandson. She also meets Kairina, her granddaughter, and a member of Hellsphere's Night Company. Even though she is stressed out, Keina starts searching for the next guardian tower. Kolke and Axis, two explorers, tell her of Crescent Moon Castle, a location deep within bandit territory. Keina, with some assistance from Kerik, disguises her attempt to infiltrate the bandit lands as a supply run to Kairina's fortress. Before she can finish, a group of rock golems attack the fortress, and Keina, despite her reluctance to stand out once more, helps the knights and her granddaughter. With her magic, Keina easily vanquishes the golems that were assaulting them, and given their strength, she surmises that their summoner must be another player trapped in the game like herself. She encounters a group of thieves and their demon boss at the Crescent Moon Castle, who is another Leadale player using the absence of the game administrators to create havoc at his whim. The Hellsphere Knights detain the bandit leader for trial over Keina's concerns. When she steals his skills, she enters the castle, revives its skeletal guardian, and discovers that Opus, a fellow skill master and her old mentor in the game, owned this guardian tower. In addition, the guardian gives Keina the tower's guardian ring and a fairy familiar that Opus has left her. She also gets a sizable cash reward from her grandkids for eliminating the bandits before going back to Felskalo. Keina returns and meets Kartats, who is fixing a bridge nearby. Together, they travel back to the Felskalo capital. She embarks on an adventure to find horned bear meat for a restaurant, but she unexpectedly attracts Lonti and a friend of hers named Mai, who beg to go along with her. As soon as Keina realizes that Mai is indeed Primo's sister, she grants her permission. In the forest, Keina impresses the two girls with her magical abilities, including the ability to create a hot bath out of thin air. Keina learns that Lonti admires cargo and that the siblings, Mai and Primo, are royalties. The next day, Keina meets Coral at the Adventurers Guild. They both recognize one another as fellow Earth gamers who became stranded in Leadale for years. At the Royal Academy, Lopus Harvey makes a fruitless attempt to replicate Keina's potion-making process. However, when he throws the failed mixture into a trash hole, a gigantic monster is summoned. The monster is fought by Felskelo Guardians, but they are unable to defeat it because of how strong it is. Finally, Keina arrives and effortlessly defeats the creature. The next day, Coral and Shining Saber introduce themselves to Keina as fellow players and asks her to meet them in the Colosseum when the cause is determined in the aftermath. They begin exchanging news and decide to continue communicating with each other. Coral mentions the potential site of another Guardian Tower, close to a coastal fishing community, in exchange for receiving a new potent sword and a helpful ability from Keina. Later, Keina visits her Guardian Tower and then returns to the village where she had first awakened. The village enthusiastically welcomes Keina back. The following morning, she enters the village well to look into some unusual singing coming from below. As a result, she finds and saves Mimoli, a mermaid who had been trapped in an underwater cave by an odd magical gateway. After building a bathhouse to protect Mimoli, Keina returns to the capital of Felskelo to join a Felskelo Knights expedition against the bandit threat to reach the coastal settlement that Coral mentioned. The Knights mistakenly start to think that Saber and Keina are lovers, and Saber apologizes and promises to discipline his man. After a few days, she leaves the Knights and goes to the village, where she finds it overrun by zombies and surrounded by a life-draining fog. Keina encounters Kolke and Axis, who have come here for their purposes while looking into the zombie town, as well as a small girl named Luca, who is the lone survivor of her village. Keina summons Roxilius, an NPC butler, to take care of Luca after realizing that the Death Fog must be a quest event from the game so that she, Axis, and Kolke can go hunt the boss monster causing it. After the threat has been removed, Keina travels to the palace of the Dragon King, where she finds the Guardian Tower she was looking for. The Guardian acknowledges her as the tower's new master. Keina takes Roxilius and Luca with her, after claiming Luca as her new daughter. Keina brings Luca to Felskelo to introduce Luca to her step-siblings and friends. After formally introducing them, Keina tells Scargo about her plans to construct a home near her tower. She also receives a wagon as a thank you gift from Eline for her previous assistance. And she summons Roxine, a werecat maid, to help out more in her larger home. The following day, Keina and her group arrive at the secluded village. There, she introduces Luca to the residents, who instantly organize a welcome celebration for her. Scargo and his siblings discuss how their mother moved into a remote village. He suggests that they all relocate to the same village as their mother, and his younger siblings immediately disagree. Meanwhile, the villagers gave Keina a tiny plot of land the day following the celebration. Keina uses her powers to construct her new home. Keina relaxes in her new home and recalls being hospitalized in a bed for most of her life. She is happy to have kids, grandkids, and friends in this world. Luca approaches and gives her a flower circlet. Luca then calls her mom. Following that, Keina takes Lid and Luca on a thrilling flight trip through the skies. That will be all for the recap of the anime series in the world of Leadale. Give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.